hidden camera.
With technology these days, it can be extremely hard to spot a hidden camera. But the guys here at SpyOps say there are things you can do to find out if you're being watched. First, they say if you're worried about a hidden camera, think about your surroundings. Where would that camera need to be placed in order to get the best views? And then look for anything suspicious.
Anything new to the environment can be suspicious. If it's an older object and it normally doesn't move and it is moved, that would kind of raise a red flag as well.
Also, use the flashlight on your phone and get up close to things. Can you believe this outlet cover has a camera in it? If you shine the light right there, you can see it. And check out this tissue box. It looks harmless, but when you shine a light on it right here, check it out, a camera hidden. You can also buy a device like this. It costs $90 and you look right through it. And what it does, it detects a camera lens.
It actually reflects back at you and will show you where the pinhole is where the camera's shooting from.
Another place to check, mirrors. This one does not look out of the ordinary, but watch what happens when I shine a light. You can see the camera hidden right there.
Essentially, the two-way mirror is like a tinted window. It's just going to be something where the camera can see through it.
Bottom line, there are countless places where a camera can be hidden. Anything from a key fob, a water bottle, even a plant. The experts say the best chance at finding a hidden camera is making sure you really look for them. In Lathrop Village, Anu Prakash, 7 Action News.
You have to be a spy in order to find out who's spying on you.
There you go. Our big story coverage continues on WXYZ.com. We'll continue to follow this story as police search for any other possible victims.
A warning for parents in Walled Lake. Police say a man was reportedly seen taking pictures of children at a park. It happened yesterday at Eagle Pond Park near Eagle Pond Drive and Pontiac Trail. Police say it was that man in his mid-50s. He was reportedly driving a white Ford Ecoline work van. He took off when approached by a parent. So everyone in the area is told to be on high alert and notify police if they notice anything suspicious.
A Monroe County woman charged with trying to kill her own child has taken a plea agreement. Police say last year, Sherry Richter tied up her 11-year-old son in a car and set it on fire at Rose Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery in LaSalle Township. She pleaded no contest to second-degree child abuse because she took the agreement. Assault with intent to murder and arson charges were dropped. She is being held without bond before sentencing.
A number of trucks stolen right off of plant property. Hear why police don't think they're dealing with amateur thieves.
And senseless shooting, a man targeted in the middle of the day. And the new surveillance video that could be the break in the case.
But first, murder mystery. A mother of 5 gunned down in a double murder. The new plea from 2 families to find the person responsible. Detroit police are on the hunt for 2 suspects who killed a man and his girlfriend who may have been pregnant.
Crime Stoppers now offering a $2,500 reward. 7 Action News reporter Simon Chowdhury shares with us the message from family members who are begging for answers.
We need closure. We need to know who took his life, who took him away from us.
The family members of George Mitchell are asking for your help. George and his girlfriend Laquita Payton were killed late March. Family members say George and Laquita were home on Rosemont near Joy Road when 2 suspects came in, shooting them both before fleeing. Both died from their injuries. George's family says Laquita had just taken a pregnancy test days before, and it was positive. George was 52 years old and a father of 2 and a grandfather. Laquita was 30 years old and leaves behind 5 children. Now family members want justice.
I just want to know who did this to my uncle. If you know anything or if you know the person that did it, could you please turn yourself in so that my family can stop suffering from this?
There's a cash reward of up to $2,500. You can call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. In Detroit, Simon Chowdhury, 7 Action News.
DNA samples will be collected from the man believed to be the infamous Golden State Killer. Today, a judge ruled that prosecutors can collect the data from Joseph DeAngelo. The 72-year-old is accused of at least a dozen murders, 50 rapes, and more than 100 burglaries in California in the 1970s and 80s. His victims say the former police officer used fear tactics to get them to submit. A former boss says he believes his family was also targeted after he fired DeAngelo.
I woke up one morning, my 4-year-old daughter was laying alongside the bed. She said, "Dad, last night there was someone looking in my bedroom window with a flashlight."
Retired police chief Nick Willick says at the time he didn't make the connection. Now he questions if he could have helped catch the accused killer more than 30 years ago. D'Angelo still has not entered a plea.
9 Connecticut police officers were sent to the hospital after a barricaded man situation ended with an explosion. Officers say it started as a domestic violence call. The homeowner then barricaded himself inside the barn behind the house, then burst into flames just as SWAT team officers entered the home after an hours-long standoff. The man who allegedly intentionally set off that explosion hasn't been found, but authorities say they have discovered remains. Well, violent weather ripping through parts of the country. At least 26 tornadoes have been reported across 4 states since Monday. Right now, flash flood watches are in effect for parts of Illinois and Indiana as slow-moving thunderstorms hit the area. Damaging winds as high as 70 miles per hour been reported in Arkansas and Missouri. Large hail and more tornadoes are possible from Texas up through Oklahoma and northern Illinois.
And we have our fair share of turbulence going on out there.
Yeah, what about 7 different warnings yesterday, some in the afternoon, some in the evening. We watched overnight. It got heavy rain, a lot of spots, especially in Lenawee, Monroe County, went over 2 inches. We'll add to that, I think, as we go along. Now, the first little batch here is moving off to the east, but that's pretty easy to see coming through Pontiac there, Mount Clemens and Detroit. But if you look a little farther south, little dot to dot, some polka dots down here. This does not look like much. It is connected to the action that just moved to the east. So little showers starting to pop up around Adrian just to the east. And instead of going east and away from us, those are going to linger for a while. And if you watch, the flow here now anyway is northwest to southeast with these showers, right? But look down here across Indiana. You can see the evidence there that it's already starting to back up coming into the from the southwest to the northeast. So there's a front that's kind of doing a switcheroo on us here, and that's all connected to the system that's still anchored back out here by Kansas City. Now, whether or not we get showers and thunderstorms, which we will off and on, it's going to be a windy day tomorrow. Even if you don't get storm winds, it's going to be a windy day as this thing moves in and through the area. It is less and less likely tomorrow to have a problem, but tonight we may. So looking at the fast numbers now, these go on a scale from 0 to 5, 5 the highest obviously. Not concerned about tornadoes, but stronger winds, about a medium level. That the lightning as well, very frequent last night, could be an issue again tonight. And this is in the overnight period here once we get past 10 o'clock or so. Hail is not out of the question. Flooding maybe, because especially the southern counties, because we've had some. Now the threat, which is this green area, starts to move to the east. Now notice that this is tomorrow. But as that rain and wind and storm threat moves away, the winds around here are going to be quite strong. So there's a wind advisory that will be in effect all day tomorrow. Gusts could go to easily 45, maybe to 50 miles an hour. So we might get more power outages from the wind that's not storm wind than the wind that is. Bummer, huh? And the strongest time period is going to be afternoon, probably noon to 4, and probably around and east of US 23. So a little farther west, you're a little bit better off, but everybody is going to notice the wind certainly tomorrow. All right, this evening, 70s, periods of showers and thunderstorms. Not much for the next couple of hours, but that little batch I showed you to the south will be developing and moving north as we go along. So from about 9 o'clock and beyond, they start to become more and more widespread. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely. Some of those could be heavy. It's not out of the question to be severe. It's not real likely, but that was the scenario yesterday. We had 7 different warnings, so we'll keep track of this. If there's a problem tonight, it would be storm winds. We'll look ahead to the rest of the extended forecast coming up. We do calm down somewhat over the weekend. I'll let you know if we can get it built back up with the heat coming back in too. A full 7-day forecast coming up. That's always on your weather app, right? WXYZ app's got your forecast on there and a look at the radar as well. You could use that and zoom in and zoom out and see what's going on and see what's coming at you. You get to be your own junior weather person, just like Glenda and Dave.
Yeah. Did we get the badge too?
Yeah, it's in the mail.
All right, let's go outside for a look at one of our 7 First Alert traffic cameras.
This is I-94 and 14th, and see a little raindrop there on the camera as we look down at the traffic below. Seems to be moving pretty well in both directions at this time. Always a good thing, especially with some wet pavement still out there. Drivers in downtown Royal Oak can expect to see orange barrels popping up next week. Main Street will be getting a makeover between 11 Mile and Catalpa. The $1.1 million improvement project calls for resurfacing the road and creating 2 pedestrian islands in the middle of Main Street. The construction is expected to last through early July.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. Are you a Twitter user? Well, the site is recommending its more than 336 million users change their passwords. The company announced it discovered a bug that saved user passwords on an internal log without proper encryption. Twitter says it fixed the issue, and there's no evidence passwords have been leaked or misused, but is still urging everyone to change their password on Twitter and all the services that were used for it.
Yeah, probably a good idea,
yeah,
given all that's going on out there, right? Still to come on Action News at 5, the Stormy Daniels saga. President Trump now changing his story about the adult film star, what he's now admitting to.
But first, final fight, the military cargo plane that was heading for retirement, and the shocking new video, the final moments before its tragic crash.
Coming up, all new at 6.
One man's mission to alert us to the safety problems at a local medical facility.
A hospital with a troubled past, what we're uncovering and how they're responding to safety violations.
Join us for this investigation and a whole lot more coming up tonight on 7 Action News at 6. We'll see you then.
There's new information emerging in that deadly military cargo plane crash in Georgia. The military confirming that it was supposed to be the C-130's final flight before it took a nosedive shortly after takeoff. All 9 people, member of Puerto Rico's National Guard, were killed in that crash. Investigators say the pilot is a hero and that he took actions that likely avoided deaths on the ground. President Trump and Puerto Rico's Governor Ricardo Rossello both offered condolences.
President Trump's legal advisor, Rudy Giuliani, makes a stunning admission.
Yeah, he says the president paid back the $130,000 his lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen paid to buy the silence of porn actress Stormy Daniels.
ABC's Tara Palmieri is in Washington with the new revelations.
One of the president's lawyers drawing a direct line between Donald Trump and the $130,000 payment made to a porn star before the election. Rudy Giuliani, recently hired as Trump's lawyer, telling Fox News that the president personally paid back his lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen for arranging the hush agreement with Stormy Daniels.
That was money that was paid by his lawyer, the way I would do out of his law firm funds or whatever funds, doesn't matter. The president reimbursed that over a period of several months.
A stunning admission on a payment that the president had previously denied knowledge of. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said that Trump did not know about the payments at the time, even though he had been paying Cohen monthly.
This wasn't something that was initially known, but later learned. And again, we give the best information possible at the time.
Cohen said that he used a home equity loan to pay Daniels to sign a non-disclosure agreement about her alleged affair with Trump in 2006. Legal experts have questioned whether the payment was an illegal in-kind contribution to the campaign. Cohen said the payment had no connection to the campaign. Giuliani seeming to suggest the Trump campaign might have suffered if the alleged affair had become public.
Imagine if that came out on October 15th, 2016, in the middle of the last debate with Hillary Clinton.
Even hinting that there may be other cases, telling the Washington Post, quote, "There were a few other situations during the campaign." Trump acknowledging that these kind of non-disclosure agreement deals are common practices for people like him. Tweeting, "These agreements are very common among celebrities and people of wealth." Sarah Sanders has long denied that the president had any knowledge of Cohen's payments and said that she learned last night from Giuliani on Fox News that he had actually reimbursed Cohen. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
All new at 5:30.
Truck heist. Ram pickups stolen from a plant in Warren.
Took the 10 to 11 Dodge trucks.
How the crooks got in and why it could be difficult to locate the stolen ride.
Beef recall, Kroger meat among the 35,000 pounds possibly contaminated. We have the impacted packages before you cook dinner.
Plus, homeless to Harvard. This man overcoming the odds, getting accepted to the prestigious school.
Going through everything I did, it changed me, it gave me character.
Why he's passing up an Ivy League education to stay here in Michigan.
Taking action for you. 7 Action News at 5:30 starts right now.
Topping our news at 5:30, truck heist. Warren police say a large ring of thieves are behind a lot of stolen trucks.
9 brand new Dodge Ram pickup trucks driven right off the Warren Assembly plant property early this morning.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig shows you how they got away with more than an estimated $500,000 in goods.
Warren police say this all started with one stolen truck at someone's home, and they believe that vehicle was used to drive at least 9 thieves to their real target. the Warren Truck Assembly Plant.
They're well organized, well planned out. They know exactly what they're going to do. They know exactly what they're looking for.
Around 3:50 this morning is when a security guard calls 911 because there wasn't just one or two, but rather 9 Dodge Ram trucks being stolen. The first truck being used to crash the gate at the Fiat Chrysler plant.
Followed by anywhere from 9 to 10 new Dodge Ram trucks.
Right after each other, one
right in a convoy, and they turned and they went southbound on Mound towards Detroit.
Warren police believe the thieves cut a gate to enter plant property. A spokesperson for Fiat Chrysler will only say they are working with Warren police, assessing their own security measures and implementing any necessary changes to prevent future incidents. Investigators with Warren police won't reveal how the thieves started the vehicles, but they do say no one is being ruled out.
We're also perhaps looking at former employees and maybe even current employees, but we're working with the Macomb County Auto Theft Task Force and working with Chrysler Security.
We're told there is a reward for anyone who can help crack this case. If you can help, please call the Warren Police Department. In Warren, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Thank you, Kim. And a former Wayne County employee could spend up to 15 years behind bars for ripping off taxpayers. 34-year-old Kurt Eschman was charged with felony embezzlement and larceny today. Eschman is accused of stealing more than 200 cell phones and iPads from the county. Eschman worked as a telecommunications manager for the county's Department of Technology. Prosecutors say he ordered the devices on the county's account, then he sold them online. The items, valued at more than $90,000. Eschman is charged with felony embezzlement and larceny. And testimony from 2 women will not be admitted during the upcoming hearing in the trial of former MSU Dean William Strample. The 2 told investigators he recruited them to be, quote, clinical skills models and made sexual comments to them. The judge denied the motion this morning. The Michigan Attorney General's office wanted it admitted, saying it supports the testimony of the 4 reported victims in the case. Strample is accused of using his position to harass, demean, and sexually assault female students.
Detroit police need your help identifying and finding a suspect in a shooting. Take a close look. Police say it happened last month in the 14,000 block of East 8 Mile near Greenfield Road on the city's east side. They say the suspect came up to the victim and shot him in the foot. The suspect then took off. If you have any information or know who this man is, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. And police are looking for whoever slashed a person's tire in West Bloomfield. Take a close look here. Police say around 2 this afternoon, this man slashed a tire in the parking lot of Maple View Plaza Shopping Center. That's located at Maple and Farmington Roads. They say the suspect walks with a heavy limp in his left leg. If you know who this guy is, you're asked to give West Bloomfield police a call.
And Woodhaven police are looking for these 2 women accused of stealing a woman's purse, then going on a shopping spree. They say on Tuesday around noon, the 2 stole a wallet from a woman's purse at a Panera Bread on the 19,000 block of West Road. About 20 minutes later, the pair went to a GameStop on Allen Road and used the credit card from that stolen wallet. Police say they ended up buying more than $500 worth of merchandise with her card. If you have any information, you're asked to give police a call.
A driver's charged with a felony after police say she tried to hit her neighbor with a car. Officers in Wayne say they were called to Randolph Street near Michigan Avenue on April 25th. That's where they say 23-year-old Megan Brum was trying to run down her neighbor in a car. Police arrested Brum. She was formally charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. Brum is scheduled to appear in court on Tuesday.
Police preparing for the worst. They took part in several mock emergency drills today at Wayne State University.
More than 100 volunteers helped prepare law enforcement for an actual school shooting or other mass casualty emergencies. Wayne State Campus Police, the FBI, local law enforcement teams, all joining together for simulated gunshots and explosions. Detroit Police Chief James Craig says drills like this are important as the department faces more and more school threats.
We set our scenarios based on other live incidents that have occurred in other parts of the country. So when you think about a Parkland, for example, and what took place, we can sit back now and talk about this active shooter situation, the fact that the sheriff's office delayed entry. That's not how we train. If there is an active shooter, we go in and deal with the threat.
Law enforcement teams will continue to conduct drills like this so officers can be in a constant state of readiness and know exactly what to do when minutes really matter.
Bear scare. For the second time in a week, a black bear putting a Michigan neighborhood on alert. How this guy was finally wrangled.
But first, beef recall. Kroger meat among the 35,000 pounds being pulled off store shelves tonight. The contaminated packages that you could have in your freezer.
Coming up, all new at 6.
Road rage on a Macomb County street ends in gunfire. Tonight, we speak to the father of the victim whose vehicle was shot up, what he claims set the gunman off, and his warning to other drivers. Plus, a local sheriff's office says scammers are pretending to be them in order to take your money. What the phony callers are doing that has some people believing they are legit. It's all coming up next on 7 Action News at 6. Stick around and join us.
We're going to go to breaking news now in Warren. Chopper 7 over the scene of a hazmat situation at 9 Mile and Van Dyke. Police say it involves some sort of chemical. We're on this and have crews on the way. We'll bring you more as soon as we get it.
Check your fridge. Kroger is recalling hundreds of pounds of ground beef. The USDA says one of their suppliers may have distributed more than 17 tons of meat, possibly containing small bits of plastic. The recall involves 1 pound and 1 pound and 3 pound trays and packages of Kroger ground beef, 73, 80, 85, and 93% lean, as well as 1 pound packages of Kroger ground sirloin, 90%. The beef has a sell date of April 9th, 2018. If you bought any of these items, throw it away or return them to the store for a refund. We have more information listed on our website at WXYZ.com.
The romaine lettuce E. coli outbreak has become deadly. The CDC says the first reported person has died from the bacteria. There have been 121 cases in all, including at least 2 right here in Michigan. Now the outbreak has touched 25 states. No grower, supplier, or specific brand has been identified as the source of the outbreak. Investigators do say the tainted lettuce was grown in the Yuma, Arizona region. So the CDC says it's best to err on the safe side and stay away from romaine right now. A busy day for crews as they work to capture a bear in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, the black bear spent hours dangling about 22 feet up in the air in a tree on the city's west side. Tranquilizers were ultimately used to sedate the 125-pound bear. The fire department helped push it out of the tree with a rope attached, of course. The Department of Natural Resources and Animal Control were on hand with extra tranquilizers just in case the bear woke up during the process. The animal was taken about 150 miles away to Roscommon County, where it was released.
Took quite a fall there, though, didn't he?
Betty woke up with a headache. Hey, listen, you might think these storms are kind of a headache. We're going to get some more, though, before it's over. I'll tell you when we get the strongest potential in here and when it calms down, coming up just a little bit.
From sleeping on bleachers to being accepted to Ivy League schools.
Going through everything I did, it changed me, it gave me character.
Hear the inspirational story of Byron Brooks and how he plans to pay it forward.
A 23-year-old Henry Ford college student has not let any obstacle get in his way of education.
From homelessness to being accepted into Harvard, 7 Action News reporter Simon Chowdhury sits down with a young man as he explains why he passed on the Ivy League schools to stay here in Michigan.
Always get back up.
Words on a whiteboard for some is motivation for Byron Brooks.
Anything is possible no matter what situation I'm put in.
Faith and family have been keys to Byron's success. His difficult journey started behind bars.
My mother had me while she was in prison, and I do not know my biological father.
Byron's great-grandparents took him in and showed him the importance of religion, education, and music. In high school, he hung around the wrong crowd and flunked freshman and sophomore year, but he managed to make up the grades and graduate on time. He started taking classes at Henry Ford College, but soon became homeless. That didn't stop him from making Dean's List and becoming a licensed minister.
I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still living right now, and that's because God still had his arms around me.
This right here, well, You're looking at what used to be Byron's bed. During his toughest times, he would spend the nights sleeping on these bleachers until a church member took him in.
They let me into their house, groomed me, fed me.
Through his journey, some school staff members and friends started helping Byron out. One fellow student would bring him lunch every day.
It really meant a lot for me. He made sure that I was able to eat.
Now he's getting his associate's degree and has been accepted to Harvard and other prestigious schools. But he chose to attend Ferris State this fall. He wants to stay close to his church and come back to Henry Ford College to mentor other students. He will study music management with plans of having his own record label. Byron also wants to create a music program for at-risk youth. And as for the obstacles he's overcome, he has nothing but gratitude.
Going through everything I did, it changed me, it gave me character.
In Dearborn, Simon Chowdhury, 7 Action News.
Incredible story, still giving back.